so we'll address them at the end of the session. So Yemisi, thank you. We're glad to have you. You have the floor.
Yeah. Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Yemisi.
I learned a lot from what Jelilis just said, and it just makes me remember my own experience too. So what I would do is I will focus on my experience as an entrepreneur and as a credit analyst also. In my 12 years of reviewing credit requests, I've seen businesses die. I've seen businesses, try to keep up with just one source of income, and then something happens and then they no longer exist. I've seen businesses take up loans just because they want to take up loans, not because they understand the impact of those loans or they have a strategic plan to exist beyond 5 years. And if you notice in Nigeria, most of the SMEs die within the first 4 to 5 years. And it is not because those businesses cannot last beyond that. And if you look at America, you find that the big multinationals today started out as SMEs. So the question is, why do we die like that? But then the most important thing right now is, so that I don't digress, is that we now focus on post-COVID. First things first is, my question to you as an entrepreneur is, how have you coped during COVID? Did COVID take away everything? Is there still something left? If there's still something left, are you doing anything with it now? Is it generating any form of liquidity for you now? Is it keeping you afloat? If it's keeping you afloat, lucky you. That means you have something for post-COVID. So if you don't have that, that means that you have to think up something new for post-COVID, because it might be difficult to resuscitate some businesses the way they were before. Like airlines have been talking about resumption, and there's been so much debate about how we'll resume. Will airlines be like before? Some very lazy flyers like me have decided that for the next 2 years, I'm not going anywhere, irrespective of what is happening. That if I would go anywhere again, I must be sure that if I leave Nigeria negative, I won't get to where I'm going and become positive. So you see, there are a lot of challenges, and it will still affect travel agents, whether you like it or not. But like we said, there are some businesses like Essentials that will never, they won't go down. They would experience a little bit of, they'll be shaken, but they will come back up after COVID. But they have to think of business in a different model. They need to think of the way people think about what they're selling now. You need to think of how your customers are reacting to your goods now, and what they are changing about their lifestyle, and how it will affect the way you are presenting your goods to them. Which is very, very key, because, and I'll share my personal experience because it will help us get it and understand the practical things we need to do. So I jotted down some things post-COVID for me. What I do is, apart from being a banker, and yes, like Fatai said, I won't approve any loan during these times. And you can guess why. Because right now, most businesses are in shock. They're still trying to get out from what has happened to them in the last 2 months. Some of them have taken up loans, because the federal government has been so nice to give 5% loans that might even become a burden after post-COVID. Sorry, post-COVID. They might become burden after post-COVID, because of the fact that, yes, it might relieve you a little bit now, but ask yourself, what are you spending the money on? Some of us are using the money to pay staff so that we can keep them on. If you are spending the money to keep staff on, you know that money is not generating any new money. And you can imagine what will happen to you after COVID. Yet, those loans have to be repaid. Very, very critical. When you are thinking of a loan as a small business now, the first thing in your mind should be, how am I going to pay back? What are my plans? Can I generate money from here? If I can't generate from here, where do I go to? What are my alternatives? You must have 3, 4, 5 ways out before you decide, okay, it's time to take a loan. And then whatever you are taking a loan for must be essential. It must be something that will generate more money. It must be very essential. Like for me, I would say that as a small business, if I were to take that federal government loan, I would have taken it and put it in a mutual fund or something that will be generating no matter how little. And then you can use the little to support your business during this time. One thing is certain, the principal is preserved, And yes, you will earn something, because if you take money at 5%, you will earn nothing less than 10% from mutual funds now. But it's very critical that you understand that one of the things that I did before COVID, from my small business, I sell snails, is I created an account for that business, and I decided that that business will run itself, right? Like Jelili said, I take more of the money, I take my money mostly via transfers. I do little or no cash sales, right? And when I do cash sales, I'm conscious to transfer the money back almost immediately. So that business had a base. You won't believe it. During COVID, we were still buying stock. Sales was very low, not as much as before, but I was able to still keep stock in the house for people who would have emergencies and would need it. And now that I'm gradually moving out of, post-COVID, I'm now thinking of online sales. How do I maintain online sales? And I started thinking of digital marketing. I was able to use a strategy to bring on a model that I'm testing now for the first 3 months to see how effective it will be. And I'm also looking at keeping very good accounts. Apart from the fact that that account helps me to know what goes out and what comes in, I want to be able to keep good accounts in terms of sales every minute. So I'm learning how to use Google Forms. I'm learning how to upgrade my technical skills. So when Fatai was talking about technology, it doesn't mean you should go and buy one technology somewhere. There are a lot of apps that you can use as a small business to monitor your sales at your level and become like a little financial expert while you are still trying to get out. So this discipline will help you post-COVID. Some people will tell you that the reason why they're not doing well now, they did a lot of good business now before COVID. What happened? They did not save. When you earn money, you split it into 3. I spend, I save, I invest. That's the way it's supposed to be. If that is not the discipline that you've been, using before, even as a salary earner, you save, you spend, you invest. You will never be rich if you spend more than you earn. So you must keep up with those financial discipline every time you are looking at yourself. I understand the pressure to be a big girl, the pressure to be a big boy, the pressure to spend, but I think that it is good for your business that you understand that when a business starts, it cannot be profitable. There is a cycle for it to move from, growth to maximizing income and then becoming something bigger. And so if the strategic plan is to be so much more, then the kind of discipline you will have will be different from the kind of discipline every other person around you has. The way you would think of your suppliers, the way, like my supplier, I pay her cash and I take the risk of holding the goods every time. That makes it easier for her to release as much as I want to me every now and then. Why can I do that? Because the cash the business has a cash base till now of its own that is sitting in an account and is taking care of the business regularly. So you must think of financial discipline. It is very, very critical. And then you must think of product diversification. I'm looking into other seafoods. I might bring them in as time goes. You must think of diversification. Having just one product does not help, because the product life cycle, most products have their different life cycle, and you want to maintain cash flows. You must re-strategize right now that we're still in the COVID era. Re-strategize, have a new plan. This is what I want to do now. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is identify the people that will help you achieve your goals. Keep up with achieving your goals. Don't lose focus. Like he said, focus on raw materials. One other thing that is helping my business is I buy everything in Nigeria. Everything I used to package, everything I used to get the job done is gotten from Nigeria, so it's easier. And the good thing is by the time I expand and look at other markets, I can export also. So it's very good that you stabilize the business first before you start thinking of growth and expansion. Ensure that it has a base, then you can expand easily. And then you can attract investment because you are disciplined, you have a structure, you are monitoring those accounts. Like Jelili said, you have an account, you have a base. You can tell somebody, this is what I've done for the last 12 years, or 3 years, or 4 years. Upgrade your skill, like I said. Don't be too scared of technology. Try a little bit of coding. Go into those data. Funny enough, all those things are free on the internet. And as you learn more about data and you understand data, you are a better business person, because data and business, they go hand in hand. How often do they buy from me? How often do I get this from this person? How does this person like this? All those data, if you keep it, you keep feedbacks, you keep all that, you will enhance your business post-COVID, because people will still do business post-COVID. It's that the manner in which they do it will be different. And then how good you have been to them during these times says whether they will stay with you or not. You know, during this time, I've been doing 50% discount for deliveries. So I take 50% of the cost of my customers. So it's easier for people to say, okay, I'll order. How much is the delivery cost? 100, pay just 500 and I'll deliver to you. But I'm doing that because I want to keep my customers while we are going through this together. So financial discipline I've mentioned, focus on learning tools. Please, if you are a business person, Google Forms is your friend. Learn how to use it. Use it to document, use it to keep data, use it to document sales. Send the links to your customers. They should use it to order so that you can have a definite invoice. You can also consider the way, so many apps that can help you with invoicing and keeping records within your business. Then the quality of your product should remain standard whoever you are selling to. Ensure that what you are sending out is going to sell you to another person. It is very critical for Nigerians, because most times we sell things to some people and just think, oh, how much does she buy from me? Let her just have it. Do you understand? Your packaging, everything, don't lose focus of what you are trying. What you are trying to do is keep afloat while post-COVID comes. While you are trying to keep afloat during these COVID times, you will learn how to deal with your customers post-COVID. Your customers will likely continue to behave the way they are behaving now post-COVID. So very, very important. You must have those skills. You must learn, relearn, keep reskilling, get ready for the job. It's tough to run a business in Nigeria. There are so many things. You meet customers that make life frustrating. You meet all those things. But all in all, keep your focus. What you are trying to do is build something that will last beyond these times and even beyond post-COVID. So it's important that you keep those financial discipline, the discipline of learning technology. Try as much as possible to also learn how to improve your delivery service and all that to customers, so you can keep them during these times. Once you are able to keep them and you keep afloat during these times, then they will sell your product post-COVID, and you will float, you will fly post-COVID, because what you have is you have a steady clientele base that will drive cash flows now and keep you afloat after COVID. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Yemisi. Oh my goodness, this was really eye-opening. So if we have any questions for any of our guests, please let me have the questions now. And okay, so just so we know, this session is recorded and it will be uploaded on our YouTube page. There are a lot of people who are sending me messages telling me they couldn't come online. I don't know, they were having challenges coming, so they missed out on this session. So I'll be uploading it there so that a lot more people can view and take advantage of the information that has been given during this conversation. We have just about 8 more minutes to go. So if you have any questions, just in the chat box. I'll be looking for the chat box. Okay, it seems everyone got what was said clearly, because I can't see any questions in my chat box.
And 2 people are raising their hands, Kamini.
Okay.
Alternative, if it could be in form of comments, maybe people would like to speak to, so that could be accepted too. Okay.
So there's, okay, I've asked somebody to unmute and speak.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please. even though I joined late, I'm a carrier, even though I joined late, I can
Thank you for joining.
Meeting was quite informative. But I would like to ask them a question, especially as pertains SMEs. Most SMEs in Nigeria have difficulties in accessing funds. When it comes to accessing funds, cheap funds. Now, I would like this Zoom meeting to address it, or the facilitators to address it. How can SMEs get monies with low interest rates in Nigeria at this time? Then secondly, again, we are talking about this, the coronavirus pandemic has made us to realize how important technology is, especially as pertains SMEs. Also, I also like to know how exactly can SMEs, make use of the IT world, the IT technology and all that to facilitate their business, to create sales, and all that. So I would just like you guys to just throw a little bit more light on that. Thank you.
Okay. So Yamsi, would you want to speak to that?
Okay, so on money at no interest rates, I think that at little or no interest rates, I want to be sure that you don't have any interest on crowdfunding. I know there's a lot that goes on online. People, you go out, you ask for funds from people, they donate, and then you can use that to run your business. But if you are going to go to a bank, there's no how they'll give you money. Even CBN had to give at 5%, not that they gave at no interest rate. So at no interest rate, your best form of finance at no interest rate is the money you are plowing back into your business. That's your best form of finance. Or you find a partner that is willing to invest. That partner willing to invest will not give you interest rates, but be rest assured that he expects payback, return on investment at one point or the other. My greatest advice to small business owners is that you maintain financial discipline. I started my business with 30,000 naira, right? And since then, I've not borrowed 1 naira from anybody. And I can tell you comfortably that the base of the business in terms of working capital available to buy products now are in the range of hundreds of thousands. And the cash is available for the business. Now, what have I done differently is to say to myself that this business should run itself, right? It should run itself, not just run itself. It should actually, have the capacity. And what I've done is to say separately, this is your account or business. And this is where I will pay suppliers. This is where the money will come back to. So the profit has been building in that account. So that's your cheapest form of finance. I won't lie to you as a business person. And when you are thinking of expansion, any expansion that would require that you get financing, that requires that you pay interest, you must be sure that you've done your financial modeling and the payback period is comfortable for your level of sales before you went into the business. Because whatever you are projecting after you get you do the expansion is still speculative. But whatever you are earning currently, maintaining your customer base with all the discipline and ensuring customer loyalty, you might continue at that level for a long while. So if you do that math and you are sure that when you remove every cost, you have this, and this can take care of at least 50% of what you need to pay back every month, then you are good to go into a new investment and have this speculative income that you are projecting. And you said technology. How do you take opportunities in technology? Fantastic, so many things to do. You can build websites yourself. If you don't want to do it yourself, you can get someone to build it for you. You can build e-commerce into the website, and then learn how to use it also along with these people. Because one thing I've realized is once technology experts find out that you are not interested, they will suck you dry in terms of, billing you for what they're doing for you. But if you can, create the time to understand each of your platform, your Facebook, your Instagram, when to post, when your post attracts people, the conversion rate, These are the things that you need to keep the insights and what you are getting from there. And then you know that, oh, I need to focus more on the IT world. Sometimes you find out that spending so much time on the internet does not convert to sales. You might even be getting most of the sales from your WhatsApp group, so identify what works for your business, learn the skills you need to learn, and you can be rest assured on YouTube now, you can learn anything if you put your mind to it. So it's important that you are receptive to learning. And then if you put somebody on, if you engage someone to do that thing for you, then you can also supervise because you understand the tools that the person is using.
Okay, so Kara, does that speak to your question?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Kambili. Can
I
just add to what Yemisi has said around? Okay.
So we have more questions, and I want us to quickly address some of these so that we can speak to more people. And someone is saying, how do you manage your business when your service or product is dependent on importation mostly? Fatai, do you want to speak to this?
So, I think while I was making my presentation, okay, I spoke about this, that, yeah, fine. At the moment, I think we need to be nimble and try to look inward. The truth is that there are quite a lot of these inputs that we can source locally. But it's only that maybe we've not really put our mind there. So this is a time with a lot of research, and findings. We would see that let's engage the Chamber of Commerce's. Let's try to be members of some of these Chamber of Commerce. Let's form all these strategic partnership and relationship. This will also help us, to have information about some of these input or product that we're talking about. Indeed, if we are members of some of these Chamber of Commerce's, there are quite opportunities that accrue from that. Vis-a-vis, we get some professional advice, we get some discount on these things, and we are guaranteed of the sources from which we are getting this product from. And like I mentioned, we need to start and look to be looking inward. I'm very sure that a quite number of these inputs or products, we can get them, even if it's not within Nigeria, it could be from some other African countries. So I think these are a few things that I think we can do to address that issue.
Okay, thank you, Fatai. Someone has an input, so I guess before I take the next question, I'll take just two more questions. I'll allow Barbara to give her input. Okay, so Barbara.
Okay. Sorry. Do I need to put on a video? I don't need to.
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much for moderating this. I'm very grateful that I'm here. However, my input is, I do a lot of things, a lot. And I found out that, first of all, last year I started producing ginger pastes. And now the COVID started, and I started wondering. And of course, the thing of trying to keep healthy now came up. Everybody wanted to do ginger. So I started selling ginger. That's how I now focused on the ginger paste. And then people started asking for garlic. I now did garlic paste. And that. So two of my streams of income, brand products, were birthed: the ginger and the pepper paste. Okay, so that has really gone well for me. So that means that after the post-COVID, we have now moved after COVID, we have now moved into post-COVID, and I see that the business will grow afterwards. But what I want to say is consistency. In Nigeria, what I've realized that a lot of our materials, a lot of us are dependent on materials from the open market, and a lot of times they are inconsistency. Take for instance, I go to the market today, I buy this a cup where where I put my paste in, and I go to the market and another time, because I don't want to buy so much and keep, because of the cost of housing, of storage. All right, so I buy in little quantities. I go back to the market and I don't see the same cup, I don't see the same anything. So what do I do is that I buy what is available, but I need to communicate. But I always have to communicate to my customers that, hey, this quantity is no longer available, or because that's not what is available in the market. So this is the next quantity that is, the next quantity that is available. What I find out is that, and this is what happened to me in the past, when I go back to the market to buy something that is no longer there, immediately that business dies, because I found out that my supply chain is not consistent. So my encouragement to people who are going into business or want to keep sustaining, because we are dependent in the open market for different materials, we need to also be fluid in how, not compromising on quality, but we need to be fluid in how we manage our business, so that every little challenge we face, which will come, we can't outbreak it, we will be able to meet up according to the challenges that face us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara. Okay, I'll take one more question. So someone is saying, is there any hope for anyone whose business is already dead as a result of COVID-19? And is there any hope, or is there any likely strategy that such a person can embark upon, okay, can stage a comeback, basically? So if your business is already dead as a result of COVID-19, what strategy can the business owner, I don't know, use to stage a comeback? Basically, that's what she's saying. Yeah, Miss, if you want to answer that.
It's a very sad point to be, where the business is actually dead and there's nothing. My question is, can that person pick his or herself back up again and think of something new that you can learn? Think of something new that you can sell, and think of something that will be more sustainable than what you were doing before. While you were doing that business, you learned some things. You learned some things. Those lessons are not to be thrown away. Some of the things that you went through, the principles of life that you learned doing that business that died, are applicable to every business. And you might need it in the new business you are going to. The only way to go is to pick yourself up, look for something more sustainable, and start again. Because you can't afford to give up at this point in time. And also be open to, if there are variations in that industry where you are. Okay, so the way I've been doing it is no longer, is no longer in demand. The way we've been delivering the service is no longer in demand. Now, a new set of services might be coming up in that your industry that will still require the skills that you have developed. Focus on the principles you've learned, open your mind to something new, and be ready to learn and start again.
That speaks to it. Thank you, Emily. So I have a contribution here from Suleiman, who says, in respect of imports, so for the person who was asking a question on importation, he said, you can explore the option of air cargo, because at the moment it's the surest way to get things faster. He said, in respect of open market dependence, part of what we need to do is drill down to producers of our RM. It should be the part of the R&D at the inception. So let's be part of what you need to put in place before starting the business. Okay, thank you, Suleiman. There's a question here from Esther. She's asking, what are the top 5 tips you can give to any SME looking to get a loan for expansion in the nearest future? I think Yemisi has spoken to this. She has already addressed it. Yemisi, is there something you want to add to that question? She says, what are the top 5 tips for any SME looking to get a loan for expansion in the nearest future?
Oh, fantastic. For you to get a loan for expansion in the nearest future, please, while you're at it right now, maintain financial discipline, have your books in order so that you can tell the story. Your books can tell a story that would attract bankers to you. Very, very key. Ensure you have steady cash flows, not just cash flow, free cash flow for repayment. You do your math yourself and know that whatever you are earning, you can comfortably pay over 4 years, over 5 years, whatever number of years you want to, have. You are thinking of, you should align it with your cash flow, and you should be sure that your business will be alive in 5 years time, in the 6 years time that you are telling the lender. Do you understand? The reason why banks are not excited about SMEs is because they know that most of them do not live longer than the tenure of the loans they're giving to them. And yes, don't forget that you are operating in a system that government has a part to play in terms of whether your business survives or not. Government can mar or support your business. So for that also, you should understand your taxes, understand levies, all those things. You must understand. You must be ahead of government, be ahead of everybody in understanding your business better and having plans for your business. That is very, very key. Keep your customers happy. I cannot say that. I can't overemphasize that. Make sure your customers are happy and they are actually referring your products. For as long as you can maintain a steady customer base, you have cash flow. And for as long as you can have that, think of product diversification also. Don't stick to one product. Think of even expanding beyond the shores of Nigeria. Those things should be on your mind. Sit down, write the vision, write the mission, state your strategic, plans, and make sure that every staff, don't forget this, every staff you ever engage in your business must understand your mission, they must understand what you are trying to achieve, and they must understand what they need to do to help you get there. With these tips, by the time you come to a bank, you will have structure. That's very critical. You will have structure. You will understand your financials so well that you can tell the bank, no, you are misinterpreting my financials. This is what it means. You will understand, you have the structure, you have the cash flows, you have the customers who have capacity to pay you. Once your customers can pay you, then you can pay the bank. Profitable. You are sure that you are liquid. You are sure that you have investments you can turn to if things don't go as planned. When you are enjoying surplus, learn to save and invest. You cannot overemphasize that. Save and invest when you are having surplus. When you are not having so much, manage yourself within your expenses and try to save as much as you can. If you treat a business that way, if you treat a business that way, in the next 5 to 6 years, you can say, this is what I have in investment, this is what I have in savings to take care of this. I understand the urge to spend on so many other things. And I know if you're talking to an entrepreneur, you say, but Yemisi, I have bills, I have this. Yes, I do. Be conscious of your bills and also be conscious of the need to strengthen that business.
Thank you, Yemisi. So, we are getting a lot more questions, but we are time constrained. This conversation was meant to be for just an hour, and now we are an hour, 12 minutes already. So I will be wrapping up now. If your question has not been answered, we could still get answers from our guests. And follow our social media outlets. We drop answers to questions we can't answer here. There. Also follow our YouTube channel, and the link will be dropped on our social media outlets at Building SMEs. So you can share this video. There are others that could learn a lot from it. There are SMEs that are really, really struggling, trust me. You could get a lot of knowledge from this and it could help someone. So again, I want to say thank you to our guests. Thank you especially to Yemisi. She was so busy and she got on this platform and made time for this. Thank you so much, Yemisi. Thank you for Tai, for everything. Thank you to the VHS people on here. You guys are awesome. Thank you to my colleagues. Thank you for making this happen. So we'll wrap up now. Goodbye, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.